at 6 in the morning, it was still recording. I ain't like most ASMR artists, as we know. And as many of you, maybe you're new to the channel, will find out. If you want something a little bit different from your ASMR, then you've come to the right place. Most ASMR artists are there opening packages very quietly. I like it myself. I listen to it, I watch it. I do the occasional unpackaging, unboxing. Some will make roleplay videos and pretend to be, I don't know, Darth Vader or something. Luke, I am your father. You know, you get the idea. I've done a few roleplays myself. All football related, or pretty much all football related. I like to talk about different stuff. I do football videos. We do wrestling videos. We have a look at DVDs and talk movies. We do true crime and conspiracy theories, just stuff that interests me. And this video is going to be no different. And there'll be a video later on this week which a lot of you will be like, what the hell? Why would he put that as an ASMR video? Or why would he think it was an interesting topic? Well, I'm interested in it. That's all that matters, because I like it. If you don't, that's fine. You have to watch the video, but I find it interesting, so I'm going to tell you about it. But today's video is a mixed sports video, so I'm going to cover 3 sports I find interesting and I have participated in watching this weekend. I certainly participated in them physically. I've not actually gone in there and done it myself. Sod that. There's only one of them I'd happily do. The other 2, forget it, no chance. But on Friday night, let's go back to Friday first. There was a big boxing match on. Big, maybe not in the world of boxing, it wasn't big, but it's big in British boxing. Because one of the boxers was British. And he's quite inspirational. I'll have to adjust the lighting in the opposite room and then we'll get into that. Bear with. So, Anthony Crawler, who is a Manchester born and bred boxer from here in the UK, took on Vasil Lomachenko on Friday night, who is from the Ukraine and possibly the best boxer I've ever watched in my life. I don't watch boxing week in, week out, don't get me wrong. I actually find boxing quite boring. Honestly, I do. Unless it's a big fight, I don't tend to watch it. AJ's fighting. I've paid for 2 of Anthony Joshua's fights, but I will not pay for this upcoming one against Big Baby Miller. I'll just catch it when it's on a week later for free. I paid years and years ago for Floyd Mayweather against Ricky Hatton. Funny story. Right, paid for it like on the Friday. He was on the Saturday, paid for it on the Friday. Planned on staying up having a few beers, watching the fights on like 4 in the morning. The missus said, right, it's on at 4, we'll go out on the Saturday night. I thought, for God's sake, against my better judgment. I got a bit pissed. Got back. Got my father-in-law up because we was living in his house at the time. He wanted to watch the fight. He come down, he was wide awake. I fell asleep. I missed the whole fight because I was pissed as a fart. That happened when I went to the cinema years ago to watch the last ever Star Wars. Went 3 times, couldn't stay awake during the bloody thing. When I went to watch the first X-Men movie when I was like 16 at the cinema, me and my mates got pissed at the back on White Cider. Missed the whole bloody film. So, note to self, don't drink if you want to stay awake to watch something. The one time I did stay up all the way through was for Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo in the UFC. Stayed up, that was the last fight of the night, it was like 5:30 in the morning. Watched the whole thing till 5:30, as well as getting drunk. And as I said, I don't tend to watch much boxing because it can be quite tedious. And 12 rounds of nothing but punching and dodging and circling each other, I get a bit annoyed with. But I watched it. I watched it on Saturday morning and recorded it on Friday night. And Andy Crawler, if you don't know, I knew about a few years back, about 5-6 years ago, and he was in a big rivalry with an old friend of his, another Manchester lad, and I can't remember what his name was, but the other lad was a Man City fan, and Andy Crawler was a Man United fan, so they played up on that quite a bit in the build up to the fight, and Anthony Crawler won that fight, and ever since then I've followed his career a little bit, from a distance, pretty much. But a few years ago he nearly had his life ended, and definitely his boxing career ended, when his neighbour was burgled, or robbed. His house was robbed, and Anthony gave chase to the person or persons who had done the crime. Now if I've got Anthony Crawler chasing me, I'm probably just going to stand stock still and let him just, I don't know, just take me down, because he's a professional boxer, for Christ's sake. Might not be the size of Anthony Joshua, he's still a professional boxer. He gets paid to punch people in the face. This person anyway, I think they got him in the end, but he caved Anthony Joshua's head in with a house brick or a slab or something or other. He cracked his skull, and Anthony Joshua was in a bad way for a long time, and they didn't think he'd ever be able to box again. But he defied all the odds, and he came back, and he came back even better. He had a couple of world title shots against Jorge Linares. He lost both of those fights, from what I remember. And somehow he got this fight against Lomachenko. I think he won his last fight, and then he got the fight against Lomachenko. I've heard of Lomachenko in the past. I think I even covered him on a video on here. I did some sort of boxing video or something or other, and I mentioned Lomachenko and his record. This bloke is scary. I've heard stories in the past, whether it be through Joe Rogan or on the radio, through Jonathan Davis, who is a big boxing reporter. I've heard stories about how when Lomachenko was a young kid, he wanted to become a boxer. His dad said, "You will not become a boxer. I will not allow you to become a boxer until you go and do like Russian ballet." I think it was Russian ballet for 2 years. Now you're probably thinking, imagine Anthony Joshua doing Swan Lake. How stupid is that? But what he taught Lomachenko, and the reason his dad wanted him to do it, was he taught him footwork. Now I spent about 2 rounds of the 4 that this match went on for the other night just watching Lomachenko's feet. It was absolutely ridiculous. His feet are constantly moving, like all the time, without him even knowing it. It's just second nature, first nature, whatever. His feet are just constantly on the move. It's like they got a life of their own. And it always meant sure he was nowhere near the punches of Anthony Crawler. He hardly got punched. And his hand speed and just the way he took Joshua down was ridiculous. Anthony Crawler. So in the 3rd round, Crawler got knocked down, but the ropes held him up. The ref went in to check or to count or whatever, and Lomachenko thought he'd won and kind of got up on the turnbuckle, the post, I think, started celebrating. And these people came in, his trainers came in to celebrate with him. Congratulations for Seal. The ref turned around, "Hold on, what are you doing? I was just checking. He's fine. He's getting back up." He gave Anthony Crawler a chance, make sure he's okay. He's fine. Okay, you can carry on. There we go. Lomachenko's a bit his face was lying on the mat. Even the commentator said that's a stupid thing for the ref to do, and he should have even finished it after the third round, when Crawler was, you know, if he went for the ropes, he would have gone down. So yeah, Lomachenko retains his title, or titles, I'm not sure if it was one or two on the line. Crawler gave his best, but was nowhere near good enough, and on that performance, I don't actually see who would be good enough to take on Lomachenko. He did say afterwards who he wanted in his next fight, but I can't remember who the hell he said now. I should have wrote it down, but he did say they asked him who he wanted. And he did say, but in the rankings, Luke Campbell, who is from the UK, he's from Leeds or somewhere like that, Sheffield or somewhere, he is in I think third in the rankings, but I'm sure. What's his name? I want to kick myself now. Not Castillo. Garcia. I think it's Marky Garcia, is it? I think, if I'm correct, he's American, because his father's in America. That got a bit of a pop from the fans. Mikey, not Marky. Mikey Garcia. Lomachenko said he'd like to take on next, because I think Garcia has a title that Lomachenko wants. Or Lomachenko. Like he said Lomachenko. I think he wants Garcia's title to add to his two he's already got. And I don't see who the hell can stop Lomachenko. I apologise, guys. I didn't get much sleep. Right, now on to Saturday evening, early hours of Sunday morning. And this kept me busy most of Sunday morning watching this, for about 4 or 5 hours anyway. And that was UFC 236. As you know, I previewed this on Thursday. We had two big co-main events, both for interim titles. We had Israel Adesanya taking on Kelvin Gastelum, and we had Max Holloway taking on Dustin Poirier. We had some good fights before that as well. Khalil Roundtree absolutely decimated. Who did he take on? Bear with. Oh, Anders. He absolutely decimated Anders, but it was ridiculous. He knocked Anders down like 4 times, clean down, but couldn't knock him out. He didn't have the knockout power, and Roundtree didn't dare go in in case he got wrestled and submitted. So he just wanted to keep letting Anders get back up. He's like, go on, back up. And then he'd knock him down again, which I thought was a bit of a coward's way to win a fight, in my opinion, because this bloke took some heavy, heavy shots. I mean, these punches could have knocked down a tree. I reckon they'd have knocked down Anthony Joshua, the sound these punches were making when they were connecting with Anders' head. And then he's had to get up and take more. He's seen out the fight, and it was a unanimous decision for Roundtree in the end. We had some other fights as well. We had Grant beating Alan Juba with a split decision. It's an awful fight. Did not enjoy that whatsoever. We had Krylov get revenge on Yves Sempro. Is it Arvin? Not Oofs. Arvin Sempro, who Arvin Sempro beat Krylov in the past. Krylov come back, absolutely battered him in this match. He got him with the submitted him in the end. But the two matches I was mainly fussed about were the two co-main events. Now, before I predicted Max Holloway to win, I went over a Holloway victory against Poirier. I said, no chance. Yes, it's no doubt in my mind. Holloway wins that. I mean, he was on a 13-match winning streak. Max Holloway was. And I said, the other fight I wasn't sure about, the Adesanya and Gastelum. I went for Israel, but I wasn't sure. I said, yeah, there's a chance he could get because Kelvin is a big, big puncher. Big. The problem I had is that I hadn't realised. I'd not watched the build up, like the pre-fight weigh-ins or anything like that. So I didn't see the size difference of Max Holloway to Dustin Poirier. We'll call that fight first. That was the main event, but co-main event. But it was the last fight on the show, so I call it main event. Max is a 145-pounder champion. Dustin Poirier was wanting a shot at the 155 title, which is held by Habib Nurmagomedov. That's it, Medov in it. Habib Nurmagomedov is the champion after beating Conor McGregor. He was then suspended for 9 months because of the fracas after that fight with Conor McGregor. Habib said, if I'm banned for 9 months, I'll take a year. Why not? He's due back in September. Tony Ferguson was offered this fight with Max Holloway. Ferguson has been out for a while now. Picked up a bad knee injury whilst doing some sort of studio work, a chat show or something or other, and tripped over a wire, like a camera wire, and I knackered the ligaments up in his knee. I follow him on Instagram. He's been training like a beast to get back, but he was offered this fight with Holloway for the interim title, and the winner would take on Habib. Ferguson turned it down, but then on Instagram yesterday or the day before, he was saying he wants the winner of Poirier and Holloway. Well, how's that work, mate? Because if you become the interim champion, your next stop is then the 155 title, not the 140, not another step on the one. There's no more stops on the way. If you've got an interim title, you'll go up against the main champion then. So the winner of this fight was always likely to get Habib, who after this match tried to claim the fight was a draw, probably because he wants a rematch in that fight before he has to step in the octagon against either of these two. Now, Holloway is a beast at 145. I've seen him beat a few people. I'm so sorry. I've seen Holloway beat a few people recently, and he just outpunches everybody. Like, it's ridiculous amount of punches that Holloway throws. Immediately in the early goings of this fight, you could see though the difference in size. Okay, so he's 145 champion. Poirier is in the 155 division. There's only a £10 difference. £10 can make up a hell of a lot. £10 could be all muscle. And then on top of that, you can go like so many more. So if you're in the 145 division, I think you can probably go to about maybe to 140 or to 150. If you're in the 155, you probably go to 150 to 160. Holloway is not a thick, muscly bloke. He's quite wiry, and his punches, he doesn't have like a necessary one punch knockout power. I don't think he's more. He'll hit you that many times that eventually you can't take it anymore, and you'll go down. That's why he has the record for like the most successful strikes or whatever it is, punches and stuff like that. And early on he got hurt bad in the first round. He got hurt big time by Poirier, whose punches were just ridiculous. Like, they were dangerous. His punches were. And I was like, oh no, Max, what have you done? What have you done, lad? He wanted to be obviously champ, and he wanted the big fight against Habib and stuff, but he was obviously outpowered, out-muscled a lot early on, and he looked like he would go. I think in the third round, he rocked Poirier. I thought, oh, maybe Max does it here, maybe he can do it. In the fourth round, his nose got smashed up big time. A big knee from Poirier, big knee to the face. He got a gash right there. It looked quite serious. It was just pouring with blood. He was in a right mess. And they seen the fight against some of the other 145ers. That's the only thing I'd say, because I think if you put Poirier in there, just stood him up alongside Conor McGregor, Habib, I'm not too sure off the top of my head who else is in the 155 division without checking out the rankings. I can't remember half the divisions. But I don't think. Then again, Nate Diaz is quite big. Nate seemed to be a lot bigger than Conor, but then two fought. So I do think Poirier and Nate, maybe one or two others, are bigger than others in the 145 division, and maybe Holloway against Conor wouldn't struggle in terms of size and strength. I don't think he'd necessarily struggle against Habib, because again he hasn't got the power that Poirier has, and Poirier Habib, that'll be a hell of a match, and I hope to Christ Poirier knocks him the clean out, just knocks him the fuck out. Get out of him, my octagon bitch. I'm hoping so. But if Habib gets his hands on Poirier and takes him down, then it could be a different matter altogether. In other news, TJ Dillashaw, I reported on one of the videos recently that he had tested positive for a banned substance, but that could just be a simple mistake, because that's what I heard. It's since come out that he injected EPO, which is like ridiculous. It's what like the cyclists use on the Tour de France, the ones who are caught anyway. You know, like Lance Armstrong and whatnot. And he'd done it for both of the Cody Garbrandt fights. He beat Cody twice. He'd done it for both of those apparently, because he went back and tested his P from back then. He did it for the Henry Cejudo fight. Now obviously Cody's really peed off because he lost both of those fights, and that knocked his confidence a lot. Of course he would have done. It was a big rivalry, and he lost both fights against somebody who was cheating. So Dillashaw has tarnished his reputation, and I think rather than a year ban, I think he could be looking at a 2-year ban after this. It would not surprise me. We'll wait and hear on that. Dana White said after this fight in the press conference, he was asked about upcoming fights. They asked him about, well, first of all we have Anthony Smith taking on Alexander Gustafsson in Sweden on a fight night card coming up. We have Masvidal taking on Ben Askren, that's been confirmed. John Jones is taking on Thiago Alves. What else was confirmed? My mind's gone blank now. Anderson Silva's taking on somebody I've not heard of before. That's coming up soon as well. But they asked him about DC and Brock Lesnar. He said, yeah, DC wants it. Why shouldn't he get it? I've got nothing to tell you right now, but he wants to fight. And then he said, I'm sure he said, DC's talking about retirement, but he has 2 more nasty fights yet against John Jones and Stipe Miocic. And then, well, why can't he have Brock before that? I'm pretty certain he said that DC wants to fight Jones again and a rematch against Miocic. So that's 3 huge fights for DC. I mean, they're money fights. Brock, Jones, Stipe, and DC wants to make his money before he retires. Why shouldn't he? I thought Brock would be his last fight, but I guess not. I'm not going to complain. I hope to Christ his last fight's against Jones and he kicks the crap out of the bloke. I hope to God he does. But I'm not too sure on that one. So, moving on to our co-main event, and the second to last fight of the night. Israel Stylebender Adesanya taking on Kelvin Gastelum. I'm not sure what Gastelum's nickname is. Gastelum's quite small, he's quite short, and Starbender's quite tall, so it made for an odd looking fight really, in terms of size anyway. Going into it, I wasn't 100% confident Israel would win this fight. I like the bloke, I think he's fantastic. He's my favourite UFC fighter at the minute, as he is most people's I guess. But I wasn't against Anderson Silva, which he didn't finish. So I wasn't sure about this one. And early on, Starbender got put on his ass. Oh my god, no, this is not good. And he couldn't get in close to Kelvin because Kelvin's punches, just like Poirier's on Holloway, Kelvin is a strong lad, and he was punching to knock Adesanya out with every single shot, whereas Adesanya was just looking to make contact. He wasn't looking to necessarily knock Kelvin out, just make sure he was keep hitting him. So every time he get close to hit him, Gastelum would hit him with a big bomb. I was like, oh, this is not good. This is not good at all. So he gets put on his ass in the first round. Bear with, I've got some notes somewhere. He had him rocked more than once, to be fair, Kelvin did. There's a couple of times when I thought Israel was going to go. And then in the third round, I think it was, I've not wrote down, Israel manages to knock Gastelum down, but he can't. He even goes for a triangle, and the round ends before he can lock the triangle in, the triangle choke, which was a good success. It would have been great to see him choke. We don't see enough triangles in UFC these days. You see them all the time, but not anymore. And then the fourth and fifth, I think Kelvin had a half decent fourth round from what I remember, but he was knackered by the end. I felt by the end of the third round, Gastelum was quite gassed out. He was quite exhausted. He'd punched himself stupid, basically. And then, but he's not the fittest bloke. If you look at him when he gets in the octagon, you can see he's got a bit of a podge there on his belly. Just a little bit of overhang. And I can only guess that when he's not in training, he probably puts on a few pounds. And we ended up with Israel in the fifth round. Even if it had gone an extra 30 seconds, he would have knocked Gastelum out. He would have took him out altogether. In the end, he couldn't finish him. Gastelum was quite slippery. He knocked Kelvin down. He was punching the crap out of him. He could have finished it, but an extra 20-30 seconds he probably would have done. And Kelvin lives to see another day without having that knockout on his record against his name. But Israel, the clear winner, unanimous decision I think it was in the end, and he is our new interim champion. Who is the champion at that level? Robert Whittaker. That fight is next for Israel to become the undisputed middleweight champion. Dana said afterwards it's going to happen in Australia. He's already got his people trying to find an arena for that match, that fight. Gastelum was meant to take on Whittaker in Australia, but Whittaker got that injury and had to pull out the fight on the day. Gastelum has now lost his chance and will have to win a fight or two to get his another shot at the title. Israel will take on Whittaker in Australia. Israel is from Nigeria but has lived in New Zealand for years and years. So New Zealand against Australia is pretty big. And Israel will get a big following from New Zealand over to Australia. It does concern me that fight because Whittaker, as Dana said, is bigger and stronger than Gastelum. And if Gastelum hits Adesanya like that, then I do worry for Israel that Whittaker could take his head off. Honestly, I do. Israel is good at avoiding punches, but when you just get hit with him, he gets hit pretty bad. We'll wait near to the time to preview and predict that fight because we have no idea when it's going to happen. Also, though, John Jones has been calling out Israel, or Israel's been calling out John Jones, one or the other. Israel saying I've already stopped one legend in Silva. I already stopped my second one in Jones. And Jones saying, I'll make you call me Daddy. So I don't, on paper I don't know how that one goes because obviously Jones has taken on DC in the past. Is that a heavyweight or light heavyweight? I think we're in light heavyweight. obviously that's only the next weight division up from middleweight, so, but I just think Adesanya looks quite small. Again, he's quite wiry, a bit like Holloway. So I feel Adesanya, you know, if you put him there like against Bisping, he'd look really out-muscled. He did against Gastelum, although he's taller. And he did again, I think he would against Jones. I don't even want to predict that one right now. A Jones Adesanya fight. He's only in his third fight, he's just beat Gastelum. Let's enjoy that and we'll see where it takes us on this road. That is the Style Bender road. Right guys, let's get to the football. So I watched a goddamn awful game. I watched 3 games over the weekend. I was watching Tottenham beat Huddersfield 4-0 Saturday lunchtime. Great hat-trick from Lucas Moura. What a hat-trick that was. And a goal for Victor Wanyama. That was Tottenham's 3rd victory at the new ground. Not doing too bad there, are they? I was worried they'd struggle to settle in at the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but 3 wins on a bounce. One against Palace in the league, one against City in the Champions League, and one against Huddersfield in the league. Let's hope they can carry that in form into the game against 2 games against City on Wednesday and Saturday. Saturday night or Saturday evening, I watched Man United take on West Ham and beat them 2-1. 2 penalties for Pogba. It was goddamn awful. United were very, very lucky to get the victory in that match. Like ridiculously lucky. And I don't know what's gone wrong. I do not understand what has gone wrong since about Solskjaer's 7th or 8th game in charge. The performances have just gone. And now I'm thinking, what have we done giving him the job? Honestly, I'm wondering what the hell we have done making that decision, because the players who were performing for him now ain't. He doesn't seem to be able to get the same team out that he was getting out back then either. With Matic, Pogba, Herrera in midfield, Rashford, Lingard, Martial up front. I don't think we've seen that 6 on the pitch at the same time since for ages now. We had who was he having? Luke Shaw left back, I think Ashley in right back, and Smalling and Lindelof in centre back. And I don't think we've seen that formation for a long, long time, which is very frustrating due to injuries and whatnot. So United won 2-1, 2 goals from Pogba. We had Bournemouth beat Brighton 5-0. I mean, what the hell are you doing if you're Brighton and you're at home and you lose 5-0 at home to Bournemouth? What are you playing at? That is shocking. That is embarrassing. Chris Hughton should just resign there and then. And I think because Cardiff lost, they lost to Burnley. Burnley beat Cardiff on Saturday, and Cardiff were hoping that Brighton would slip up because Warnock has said we are targeting Brighton as a team we can catch. Burnley were down there, but with their victory, and Newcastle beating Leicester on Friday, it's going to be between Brighton and Cardiff. So Brighton getting battered 5-0 will definitely have encouraged Neil Warnock. Now he has Cardiff have Liverpool next weekend, which will not be encouraging for Warnock. But at the same time, they have Brighton coming up. I'm pretty sure that's correct. And I can't see how Brighton get any victories at the minute. Honestly, I cannot see them getting any victories right now. So I'm thinking that I'm sure Brighton's last game of the season is Man City. I'm pretty sure it is. So I think Cardiff could stay up, but they need about 3 victories, I reckon, from their last 5 or 6 games. Because I don't think Brighton will get them 3 victories. Obviously, Fulham and Huddersfield have already gone. Fulham, though, got a victory against Everton. They beat them 2-0, which was a bit of a turn up for the Bucks. And Everton been on a good run. They've beaten West Ham, hadn't they? They've beaten Arsenal, Jesus got the third, which finished off Palace. They couldn't do what they did at the Etihad earlier in the season when they beat Man City, and that put City back at the top of the table for a couple of hours. Then Liverpool took on Chelsea, which was the third game I watched of the weekend, and we had a goal from, who was the first goal from now? I sat and watched the match. I hate it when mine goes blank. Mane header, Henderson with a cross, and Mane with a header in the second half. Chelsea were bang average, like literally, they weren't at it at all. And if this is the way they're going to be playing under Sarri, then I don't think anybody has anything to worry about. In a one-off game, fair enough, they can beat anyone with Hazard on the pitch. With Hazard goes the end of the season, unless they replace him. But I don't know when this transfer ban kicks in. I don't think one window before it kicks in, I'm not sure. So if they do, they'll get all their business done this summer, which they'll need to do. But they need to definitely improve, because this was not good. Hudson-Odoi started, Barkley was on the bench, what's his name, started. Yeah, big tall midfielder, English, was at, oh bloody hell, he was at Palace last season on loan. Oh Christ, oh what the hell's your name, you idiot? Like I said, my mind just goes so blank. I'll tell you his name because it's wrote down in here, I'm pretty sure it is. I'm going to kick myself when I see this. Loftus-Cheek. There you go. And I've just kicked myself for not remembering that. What an idiot I am. So Loftus-Cheek was playing. Kante was in there. Pedro was on the bench. William was in. And they were just pretty bang average. Chelsea were. Rudiger got injured in the first half, I think it was. Had to go off for Christensen. Hazard was kicked from pillar to post and didn't really turn it on until they were 2-0 down. Second goal coming from Mo Salah, a thunderbolt of a goal, cutting from the right hand side, blasted it past Kepa in his top left, top right from where we was watching, but Kepa's top left. It was a fantastic goal, really top quality goal, and something that he should have been doing more often this season, if last season was anything to go on. What other games did we have this weekend? Top six is at Arsenal, Chelsea, we've gone through them. United, Tottenham, Liverpool, Man City, we've gone through them. Everton, we've gone through theirs. Fulham, Wolves, lost again. I think it's 3-1 away at Southampton. Willy Bolly scored, but Shane Long got the third for Southampton. And their first two. Oh, Ryan Bertrand got the first. I can't remember who got their second. But not good enough for Wolves. And I honestly think that their season will just sort of whimper out now after going out of the FA Cup semi-final to Watford. I think that's it. I don't think we'll see Wolves get the 7th place that they wanted, unfortunately. Who else have we got that I've not covered? Bear with. So Italia. Right, so we've done Liverpool, done Wolves, done Man United, Spurs, City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Everton. Leicester lost 1-0 to Newcastle. Jose Perez, that was on Friday night. Leicester had 7th place in the bag. Well, in the bag, they was in 7th place going into that game. They'll be very disappointed that they lost that match. Huddersfield lost to Tottenham, as I said, 4-0. Cardiff lost to Burnley, as I said. West Ham lost to United. Brighton lost. Fulham beat Everton. Newcastle beat Leicester. Palace lost to Man City. And Bournemouth beat Brighton 5-0. That's all the results in the Premier League this weekend, with Arsenal, Watford tonight. I'm hoping Watford win and help United out, with Chelsea losing. United are only 2 points behind Chelsea with a game in hand. And United have to play Chelsea, don't they? At Old Trafford still. I'm pretty sure we do. We've got to play Man City, and I'm sure we've got to play Chelsea as well. So we can still get ourselves into the top 4. And it'd help if Watford could do us a favour and beat Arsenal tonight, where it would be this, I reckon, when I fall asleep. Anyways, PSG got battered 5-1 against second place Lille. Yes, they did 5-1. Mbappe had 2 goals disallowed. They had an own goal by Thomas Meunier go against them. They had an injury, I think, to Meunier and Thiago Alves. I think both of them. Thiago Silva, sorry, not Alves. I'm thinking of the bloody Thiago's Silva anyway. 2 injuries to both of them. And then they had a red card to somebody else. I can't remember who that was now. But they lost 5-1 in the end. And I think that is Thomas Tuchel. Tuchel? Was it Tuchel? I don't know. Or Tuchel. It's Tuchel, isn't it? Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel is now going to be out of a job at the end of the season. And Jose will step in. They lost to United in the Champions League against a United team, which was, I'd met McTominay, Pereira and Fred in midfield. We had injuries all over the place, and we beat PSG in their own back garden, or backyard rather. So I think, and then they lost to, they drew last weekend, I think with Rennes, I think it was 2-2, and then lost 5-1 to Lille. I think Thomas Tuchel will be out of a job at the end of the season, and Jose will step in. That's our video done for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, comment below. Have a great day. See you later. Bye bye.